Good morning, guys. We're back with another vlog. My second one. I'm about to make some coffee. Well, I just made some coffee. I'm about to have some coffee and do my reading because I'm trying to get back more into a routine of reading daily. So for the past maybe like 3 weeks, I've been back reading self-help books. I think my next book, I'm thinking I might try rereading a book I've already read. We'll see. It freaks me out a little bit, but right now I'm reading Atomic Habits. Hold on, I gotta get my coffee first because we're getting into this. Also, last week I was out of creamer. This week I have a big one. I'll do sugar-free hazelnut, always. I stopped doing these ones because I was like, oh, I shouldn't eat the processed stuff. I shouldn't have any of the processed stuff. And I was going to half and half, or I was making lattes with almond milk because I do have an espresso machine. It's like half. Here, I'll show you. Half espresso machine, half coffee maker. So like one side does drip coffee. But honestly, I'm just not a fan of half and half coffee. I will, if I'm going to 7-Eleven on a road trip or something, like that's different. But I have a couple of things that I still have that are somewhat processed, although I do like to encourage people to eat mostly whole foods. I don't think that doing only whole foods is for me, but you guys can do whatever you want to do. No judgment here. Props to you if you're able to do that, but I just don't find it sustainable or enjoyable. And the biggest thing for me, in my opinion, it's the truth. The biggest thing for me is that I want to live a life that's sustainably healthy, because when I first started working out and I first started this whole nutrition thing and fitness thing. Hold on. Oh yeah. First start this fitness and nutrition thing. I remember, my dog is trying to hang. There's Layla. I remember that I was always kind of overwhelmed by the idea of eating only chicken, rice, broccoli for every meal. Had to eat cream of rice and egg whites for breakfast, and turkey bacon for breakfast. And I tried that. I tried it for a while and I was so inconsistent when I was doing that, on and off. How do I make my cream of rice taste good? Because when I was watching people online, I was watching a lot of bodybuilders and influencers, and 10 years ago, 5-6 years ago, it was a lot of people that were doing more of like the bodybuilder style of losing weight. And I think a lot more people now are talking about like the whole foods and more sustainable, integrate it into your lifestyle. And I like that because that is much more doable for the regular human being than it is to eat chicken and rice and broccoli every meal. And another thing I remember thinking when I first started going to the gym and working out and trying to eat better, there's this thing that people were trying to tell you that you had to pack, like meal prep your food to go out to eat, which is crazy. And I remember being like, okay, if I want to go out to eat with friends or go to someone's birthday and I'm meeting up with them, or I'm gonna go meet up and have lunch with my mom, or like go on date night, I have to pack my food if I want to stay on track with my health and fitness goals. And that is crazy. I've been working in restaurants for the last 12 years, okay? And I have never seen anybody pull out a meal prep container at the table and start eating it, ever, okay? That's a myth. Where did people get this? I don't know. But I don't want to do it, so I don't. Which is why I've put together an eating out guide or a dining out guide that I'm going to give to you guys for free. You just have to hit me up on Instagram and I'll send it over to you. Just comment guide under a DM to me on dianarauer.fit on Instagram, and I'll send it over to you guys so you can scope it out. But it has the method that I use to go out to eat that keeps me on track with my health and fitness goals, to build my meals while I'm out doing things and being an actual human and having human experiences, not being locked inside eating chicken, broccoli, and rice and saying, oh, I'm disciplined, right? And there's also some quick picks on there from a handful of restaurants where if you're on your way home or you're in a rush, you need to stop somewhere really quick, you know you don't have food at home. And it's really easy for us to just order stuff once we see it on the menu, right? Like when we go to Chipotle and we're standing there and we ask them for whatever we're getting, and we get down the line and then we see the queso and they're like, do you want queso? And you're like like twitching, like I do want queso, but I shouldn't have queso, right? So anyway, I put out like some quick pics on the eating out, dining out guide, so that if you guys are in a rush or you got things going on, it's just like boom, 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 laid out for you. So you can just show up to places and order food that aligns with your health and fitness goals. And yeah, anyway, finishing my coffee. I'm gonna do like 10 minutes of reading, let my dogs out, and then get a beef green chili started. I've been working on these high protein meals because I want to save more time. I am focusing on just building high protein casseroles, stews, anything that's like one big pot or one big pan, so that I can cook it once a week and have it for 4 or 5 days and not have to worry about, oh, what am I gonna make? What am I gonna do? Because I kind of, not gonna lie guys, I'm coming out of this rut where I fell off a little bit. About 3 months ago, I got super busy with work. They all of a sudden had us doing these trainings every week for 2 months where we come in on our days off and be there for 4 hours, plus the commute is like another hour and a half total, like both ways there and back. For me, plus we were coming in a couple hours early on the one day during our work week that we had to not come in early. So the one day where we were able to like sleep in and stuff, they were like, oh no, you gotta come in 2 hours early on those, like almost 3 hours early on those days. It was rough, I'll tell you that. I think my health declined pretty rapidly. I was starting to get like canker sores from stress. I could not hang. I was almost like fighting for my life. So I wasn't eating the best. I kind of tried to stay on track. I kind of tried to still hit the gym when I could. I would say sleep was definitely a priority. So if there was a day where I could just sleep and rest, that's what I did. And maybe I'd go on a walk instead of lift weights. But anyway, I did get a little flat during that, and I did get a little bit inconsistent with my eating habits during then. So now I'm getting back into it, making high protein meals. I'm going to make a beef green chili that I'm gonna make with you guys here in just a second after I do my reading. And then we're gonna hit the gym. So I'm going to start the beef green chili, but hold on, I need a coffee sip to whip this up better. So we're gonna start on, first of all, this is the Instapot. I've had it for years and years, and it does saute, slow cook, and pressure cook. You can use it for everything. The only thing is that it has a limited amount of space, so if you're looking to make like a big meal, this probably isn't the best. But for cooking for 1.5, because my girlfriend will probably eat some too, for the week, 1.5 people is perfect. If you guys brown your meat before you slow cook it, it just adds a little bit more flavor. So that's what we're gonna do. And I'm just gonna put it into smaller chunks. But look at that, 25 isn't too bad. It's a good knife, kind of. Probably not safe to do this without holding the meat, but I don't want to wash my hands. So just smaller chunks, nothing crazy, guys. When you're doing slow cook meals or whatever, don't overthink it, because honestly, it's all just gonna end up cooking together. It doesn't matter. All right, that'll do for now. And we're gonna let this get a little hotter for like 2 more minutes. All right, we're looking for the sizzle. God, it smells so good already. All right, we're gonna give that a few minutes, and then we're gonna flip. I'll probably use a different knife, just in case. All right, so I have onion that I need to use up, white and red. 1 jalapeno left from a recipe we made on Thanksgiving. We have a bag of Anaheim peppers, 5 Anaheim peppers, 4 poblano peppers, and I have, probably like maybe 10. But they're really small. Look at these. So I'll peel those and throw those in too, just for a little more flavor. And then I'll just season it up and then let it cook for a few hours while I just run errands and go to the gym and all the stuff. So I'm just cutting stuff up. Actually, while that sears, it might be easier for me to just throw everything that I cut up into a Tupperware. I love onions, so the more the better. But honestly, the red might be good for this. I don't think we need any more than that, to be honest. Look, this is how I like to cut my jalapeno, so I don't get it spicy on my fingers. Down the middle, turn it down the middle, just like little pieces like that, down the middle. And then you can hold the stem part and just chop it up. I know when you're trying to whip something up and then next thing you know, you like touch your eye or you use the restroom or something and not a good time. And these, we're just gonna keep it easy. Actually, we might do it the exact same way as we did the jalapenos, just to make it as easy as possible. Look at that. Not bad, actually. Let's see. Oh, a little crispy brown, kinda. That's flavor's at. Some of it's stuck to the bottom. Got that sear. I honestly don't care about what the pieces look like. I think if you start stressing too much about what it looks like, nothing's gonna get done. If you're not a Michelin star chef, you don't worry about stuff like that. Someone's gonna be like, that's not real green chili. I'm white. This is how I make it. You can make your green chili however you wanna make it. That's all the poblanos. Poblanos? Why did I say it like that? Anaheims. They're fairly mild. I don't think any of these are spicy. They're mostly all just kind of flavor. Excited for this though. The last few times I've made this, I think I used it like a green chili mix. Like in the aisle, they'll have these bags of like local green chili that they freeze. And then you can just grab one of those and just add it to whatever. I was using that for a little bit and then I'm like, could just make it fresh by just buying a bunch of different green chilies. And what I did forget that could add a lot of protein to this is bone broth. Generally, I add bone broth to any of the stews that I make or soups that I make because it adds, I want to say 1 cup of bone broth is 8 grams of protein, which is a lot for a small amount. So I like to usually cook with that. Not chicken stock or broth, not regular broth or stock, but specifically bone broth, whether it's beef broth or chicken bone broth will add much more protein to your meals. Imagine a carton of beef or chicken bone broth being in this. That would add, I don't know, 50 grams of protein to the stew or to the green chili, which would be ideal, but we're kind of just making do with what we have right now because I forgot it. This is the most boring part of this segment, honestly, is me just cutting vegetables. There are some really brown pieces. There's some browning. See how it's not like cooked all the way, right? But there's like brown edges. That elevates the flavor. Do you have to do that? No, you can just slow cook it. The juices are gonna seep in and it's gonna be good either way, but that just adds that little extra umami flavor. So now that it's kind of been seared and it's looking good, I'm gonna turn the sear off and I'm gonna start adding the green chilies. Hell yeah. Wow. Look at that pot. I'm gonna add the tomatillos, which have to be peeled. And generally speaking, I don't add tomatillos to the green chili when I usually make it. However, my wonderful girlfriend suggested maybe we kind of throw those in because, I mean, that adds a level of flavor. So, like I said, we're doing this the way we want to do it. Y'all can do it the way you want to do it. Look at that little guy. I think they're so cute. Cute little guys. I don't know why these ones are so small. Maybe they're not in season right now. I don't know. I also want to start trying to meal prep breakfast. I know that sounds weird, but I have this, hold on, I'll show you guys. A baking dish. It like pops out that and it's oven safe. To make almost like egg bites, but not egg bites. Like pre-cook a big thing of bacon, scramble up a bunch of eggs with some egg whites as well, maybe a little onion, veggie, and seasoning, pour them in here and bake them. And just know that maybe like 2 of them is a good breakfast for me. Because right now I'm cooking breakfast every day, which takes me 20-ish or so minutes to cook. And then on top of that, eating. So my whole breakfast takes like 30, 40 minutes every day. And I have a very limited amount of time. I work 10-hour shifts. I don't have time to be cooking every day. But once I get to that point, oh yeah, that's Layla. Just got Layla 2 months ago, me and my girlfriend did, from the shelter. Her original owner passed away, apparently, that's what the shelter says. And she ended up in the shelter and we were just scoping out dogs one day. And she came and sat right next to us and it was just, as she's humping a pillow. She was just the sweetest angel, so. All right, geez, I feel like that took me a while to just cut everything, but it's gonna be worth it. 20 minutes of prep time to not have to cook dinner for the week or lunch for the week. Yeah. Now I'm gonna add a little bit of salt. Okay, and then we're gonna let that simmer. I'll add more seasonings later once it kind of cooks a little. Actually, I'm gonna add a splash of water. There's gonna be a lot of liquid that comes from the veggies cooking down. However, I could do this a much different way, but we'll do half a cup at a time. Hey guys, that's enough. It's okay. Layla's getting over having swimmer's tail, so she's been obviously like not playing, also medicated. So she's starting to feel better and she's been cooped up. This is a dog that goes and runs. We try to run her every day for 45 minutes to an hour, and she was cooped up for 5 days because she had her injury. So she's a little cray-cray right now. All right, now that the food is started, we're gonna go hit legs. I showed you guys my blue drink last time. It's the same this time. I like to drink this when I work out because it helps me not feel like shit. So I use the Ghost Intra Raspberry, blue raspberry. But it has essential amino acids and it has some hydration, has some potassium, has magnesium, calcium. Honestly, stuff that's just good. Stuff that's just good for you. Magnesium is good for recovery. Potassium is good for recovery. I don't do a whole scoop though. I know it recommends a scoop, but I do. It's like too sweet like that, which is, I know that sounds crazy for an unsweetened drink, but like 75% scoop-ish. All right, a little shaky. Add a little bit of ice to this. Now that it's mixed up, all righty. We're ready for leg day. Let's go. Ready? I hear someone in the hallway. I'm about done with this apartment. I'm blessed that I have a fitness center in my apartment complex, so I don't always have to go to the gym. Oh, Hope is here because I'm not gonna lie, filming at the gym is fucking weird. Oh, looks like we have the upstairs to ourselves. What a blessing. All right, and it's leg day, so my least favorite day of the week. We're gonna start on the Smith machine per usual, and I have to put on my true crime documentary because there's a new episode that comes out every Monday, which is my leg day. So it's like tradition for me to listen to the new episode of Crime Junkies on my leg day, so that like takes the edge off of leg day. And some people might think there's literally no way you can listen to a podcast while working out. And I'm telling you, you can, if it's something that you're interested in. So that's what we're gonna do. Let me open this up. Since you're burning up over there, I'll probably be burning up in a sec. Ooh, it's really cold out there. We're gonna go into Smith machine squats, probably do 1 warm-up set and then 3 working sets. Did you drink some of this? It's almost.
I didn't drink it.
You chugged it.
I didn't. I just needed hydration.
I like to do the first exercise as the hardest one because that means I get it out of the way sooner. And it's when I have the most energy in my workout. So I'll do the hardest workout first, not only to knock it out, but to also be able to do it, since usually it is gonna be a harder one. So when I get to like my 2nd, 3rd, 4th set and I'm gassing out, I just remind myself that this is gonna be the hardest part of the entire workout. And that works for me in my head. Oh shit, thank God that's over. We're gonna go into RDLs. I like to do 1 form of RDL for the tush. If I can't do RDL, I'll do some sort of split squat or lunge. So all we kind of have here is dumbbells. We don't have a free barbell, like a deadlift barbell. So I'm just gonna use that and do some dumbbell RDLs to grow the tush. Because that's all we care about, is having that cake, having that junk in the trunk. A squeeze at the top, tight, because we can all go. We can all do this, right? But hit that extra at the top. And then when you do this, all you gotta do is just keep thinking about building that cake, filling out those jeans on men and women. Having a tush looks good. Remember that. I feel like I already have a leg pump. Do you see it? They're like a little puffy. So I have them little chickens, which they used to be even more chicken. Like I skipped leg day for the first 3 years of working out, because when I did start working out and the handful of times I did do legs, I hate it. I just don't like it. It doesn't feel good, and then it hurts to walk. But after a few years, I looked in the mirror and I had shoulders, I had a strong back, my arms were starting to get bigger, and I had little chickens. So now my goal is to just, my legs consistently, I've built them a lot over the last few years of actually doing them, but my tush used to be flat. I know this is probably weird, I'm showing you my tush, but my tush used to be flat and my legs used to be chickens, but we're going for them tree trunks. I'm gonna go up to 40 because 35 doesn't seem challenging enough to do for only 3 sets, because that's how I like to work out, is 3 sets of everything, but they have to be hard and heavy. Intensity has to be high, so I gotta go up a little bit. Oh yeah, wow, it's okay. All right, we're gonna do some leg extensions. I don't have any blue juice left because you drank it all. You drank it all. Yeah. I've had 3 sips of my blue juice because you chugged half of it as soon as it was before we even came here. So now I'm dehydrated at the gym. I'm kidding. And up all night, and I didn't really sleep pretty much since then. So that sucks. Oh shit. Oh, watch out. I better watch out. All right, 2 more sets, now we're done. I can't focus with the loud treadmill. Dude is fucking doing sprints. Treadmill. All right. Big thighs. Come on. One more. All right. Sit. Jeez, I get scared walking down the stairs after a leg day. Slow and steady wins the race. All right, I just made breakfast. I have 2 pieces of bacon for me and my girlfriend. So I made us bacon, and then we split 4 eggs and 1 egg white. So that comes up to like 2 eggs and a quarter of an egg white each. And I have a kiwi. So I bought these kiwis yesterday because I'm sure you guys have seen, but kiwis are kind of trending and I don't know why. I just ate 1 though, because when I got back from leg day, I felt a little woozy. I usually work out fasted, and I felt a little woozy. I'm gonna have to figure that out for leg day, whether I work out later in the day, but that kind of sounds awful because I generally wanna get leg day done like as soon as I wake up. And I don't wanna go into the afternoon and be like, oh, I gotta go spend 30, 45 minutes doing legs when I could at that time be done with it. So that's kind of hard. Or what I could try is maybe eating a little bit of carb before I go. But yeah, I did eat 1 kiwi, and that seemed to kind of help a little bit as far as the wooziness goes. My green chili looks amazing. Oh, now it's boiling. It wasn't boiling a second ago, if you guys can see that, but it's cooking down. And the hot sauce we're going with today, Red Hot wing sauce buffalo. So Red Hot comes regular, but if you get the wing sauce, it's a little bit thicker, so you just have a little bit more substance on your food instead of it being super watery. So it tastes the same and 0 calorie. Literally, you could put that stuff on everything. Red Hot has carried me through most of the fitness progress I have made on my food, but I'm gonna eat this breakfast. And just finished showering and getting ready after breakfast, and now me and my girlfriend are gonna go to American Furniture Warehouse and look for furniture. She needs a couch. I want to upgrade to a king size bed. I'm tired of the queen size because 2 adults and 2 dogs in a queen size makes for not great sleep. And in my age of ripe 34, I've realized I cannot not get good sleep. Like, I have to have a good night's sleep. If it's less than 8 hours, I'm generally not okay the next day, just with how much I work. And then my days are full. Every day I have is full. I don't spend a whole lot of time like just hanging out. So my sleep is like my time to rest. And if it's not as perfect as it can be or as good as it can be, I feel it. I feel it the next day. So I'm going to try to go find a king size bed. We'll see. We'll see if anything comes up. I'll keep you guys posted though. All right, guys, I made it back from the furniture store. There was a mattress I really liked and a couch I really liked, and I've been looking to replace my couch as well. I've had this one. Let me show you guys. I know this is like super random, I'm talking about furniture, but I've had this couch, has like a little foot spot, for like 6 years. First apartment I moved into solo without a roommate, I ordered new furniture. I got a bed, a mattress, a frame, a dresser, and a couch. I just feel like I'm growing out of it though. Like, I think I'm ready for something different, a little more modern, a little cozier, a little comfier. Like, I want my space, since I do spend a lot of time at home, more time as I get older, right? Like, I don't go out as much and hang out with friends as much. It's just what comes with getting older for some people. I just want my apartment to be a little more vibey, a little more cave-like, where I know when I'm there, I'm resting, I'm rejuvenating. Like, my entire apartment feels good in every room. I'm able to rest, I'm able to feel creative, I'm able to just kind of get in my own world. And I love that. I also have the green chili, if you guys can see that. It's coming out. The beef is starting to shred. It kind of had a lot of grease on the top, so I had to take some of the grease out. And I do still have to season it up. I was just letting it get tender enough. My off-plan meal today is a DiGiorno, a carnivore DiGiorno. I just pulled it out of the oven. I gotta let it rest for a couple minutes. But when it comes to, I think there's a big misconception that if you're living a healthy lifestyle that you can't eat regular foods. I don't believe that. Like I mentioned earlier in this vlog, you can eat the foods that you wanna eat. You can eat the foods that you're craving. Just make a little bit different choices. And I'll tell you how I made this choice. I got the carnivore one, so more meat, a little bit higher protein, cool. I looked at the label I compared it to a lot of other pizzas in the frozen aisle, and this one was the best option as far as calories and protein and all of my macros. I also generally get, even when I order pizza, once in a blue moon, I'll get a thin crust because it eliminates not only feeling really full off of carbs, because we all know that carbs can fill you up, but just not overdoing the carbs. I don't want to eat 400 carbs from eating a pizza. Like, that's too much. That doesn't align with my goals. At least with this, the carbs are somewhat limited. The protein's high. I feel like it's nourishing my body after a leg day, and it works for me. So I'm about to watch this movie on Netflix called Ballad of a Small Player. It's probably mirrored for you guys, but Ballad of a Small Player with Colin Farrell. It just came out, rated R. It's about a guy that, Colin Farrell, like a high roller with casinos, and gets himself in this rut. And I saw the preview and I really liked the style of the movie, just kind of the lens they use and like the outfits. I just kind of like that feel. I'm gonna watch this, eat my pizza, chill out with the pups. And I'll see you guys in the next one.